Let's go to Brad in St. Louis, Missouri. What's up, Brad?
Hello, John.
What's up, man?
Hey, thanks so much for taking my call.
Of course. Thanks for calling. What's up, dude?
I got a situation in life I'm looking to get some advice on how to move forward with it.
Okay.
I've struggled with social anxiety for years, and
oh man,
recently I went through I'm just kind of emerging out of a kind of a dark hole, depression and social anxiety.
Mm-hmm.
And the situation was I had a construction company,
mm-hmm.
and it totally the social part of it kind of wiped me out, and I had to sell my business, and I got out of it, and I've been kind of recuperating for the last few months here. I've had enough money to be able to do that.
Okay.
But I'm wondering how to move forward now. I'm wondering if I should be, I need to find a job at some point, so I have to get something going here.
Yeah. How long have you struggled with social anxiety?
I think it's been since my childhood.
Okay. Is your heart beating pretty fast on this call?
It is, yeah.
Yeah. So I just want to stop and say you're a brave guy. Okay.
Yeah.
If people have never struggled with social anxiety before, just imagine walking up on stage buck naked and then waving with both hands, right? That's what it feels like just to go have a normal conversation, right?
It does, yeah.
So tell me, I want to challenge you. I'm a fellow anxiety guy myself, okay? So is it okay if I push on you a little bit?
Yep, for sure.
Okay. You said you had to sell your business. I don't believe that. Convince me. Why'd you have to sell it?
I guess I made that choice to sell it.
Ooh, look at that, dude. You're already better. Okay, so why'd you choose to sell it?
I just had so much anxiety dealing with people that I basically felt like I couldn't, like you said, my heart was thumping out of my chest every time I went to talk to somebody or visit with somebody or deal with one of my employees.
Okay. So
basically, I didn't have the mental capacity at that point to deal with anything.
Were you the owner, operator of the company?
Yes, I was.
So 2 of my first jobs in the university settings were because my bosses were brilliant and very strategic thinkers, great writers. They did not like public speaking. Mm-hmm. And that's why they hired me. They hired the parts that were challenging for them. They would have been very uncomfortable with all the public speaking that goes into a lot of those public-facing jobs. So they hired me. That was my job. And I had to learn how to do budgets on the back end. So my question to you is, what kept you from keeping your business and hiring somebody that would help do the things that you didn't like doing or didn't feel comfortable doing?
Even the thought of that at the time was too much to handle.
Okay.
I basically kind of tried to do everything myself, and I pushed through. I've done it in the past. I've pushed through everything, but then I would hit a limit and I would max out. I pushed myself with the help of lots of caffeine and maybe some sugar, and just keep going.
Yeah.
But that can only get me so far.
That's right. That's a strategy you've used for your entire life, isn't it?
Yes, it is.
Would you be willing to do something different for the first time?
Yeah, I would.
Okay, let me promise you something, okay? I had anxiety so bad, I couldn't look at a stock market chart. Like, I would go in buildings at the university where I worked at, I would go to different buildings and take different avenues in because I knew there was a stock ticker in one of the the MBA classrooms.
Oh, okay.
I couldn't look at TV screens because I never knew if there was going to be that little ticker underneath it or the stock market on one side. Like, for some reason, my brain, I was in 2008, 2009, it just connected to that. I couldn't be in the room with it. And then it got prohibitive, right? Because I was in these business meetings where we were talking about the future of the company and all this. I couldn't do it. I had to step out of these meetings or I'd start causing not a scene, but I would try to distract the conversation. And that was just one of several, okay? And so I'm telling you that to tell you this. on the back. I now work at a finance company.
Yeah.
Right?
Yep.
Like my boss teaches people how to get out of debt. And so I tell you that there's healing like you wouldn't believe on the other side. Does the idea of sitting with people and just having a hilarious conversation and dumping water on somebody and being goofy and having them throw water, like, is that like enticing to you? Like, that'd be so cool if we could ever do that one day.
Yeah.
Okay. Do you trust me that you can get there?
I trust you, but it's hard for me to trust myself.
You're like, nope. Hey, that's cool, man. Hey, that's totally fine. You don't have to trust me. I'll prove it to you, okay?
Okay.
All right. Here's a couple of things that you've probably been told this over time, but I'm going to say them out loud again. All right. And here's what we'll do. We'll cut this episode, and I'll have them send it to you today or tomorrow, and you don't have to wait for it to come out in whenever it comes out, okay?
Okay.
And I want you to have these things. Number one, when you have social anxiety, avoidance makes it worse. And you start thinking about meeting with people, and then the machine spins up, right?
Right, yep.
And then it spins up, and now you're worried about the machine spinning up. You're not even worried about the people anymore. You're pre-worried about the worry, right?
Yeah.
And then the second you open your eyes, your heart starts beating faster.
Yep.
Is that your experience?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
And then what happens is that once I get into it, a lot of times it subsides. But.
Yes. Okay. Here's the challenge. It's a crazy glitch in the matrix on how anxiety works. All anxiety is a smoke alarm in your kitchen.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? That's all it is. It's just letting you know, hey, we don't think this is safe. And it also goes off when you're lonely. And so if you struggle from social anxiety, it always is going off because you're lonely, or now you're about to be around people and they're not safe. And now we're lonely. And so it never stops. And that what you described perfectly is, I just got to a point where I had to sell everything and just quit. It's like being in a kitchen and the smoke alarm's going off and it's so loud, and your kids and your wife are just acting like nothing's wrong. And finally you just have to go out in the yard because it's so loud, right? That's what social anxiety is, okay? You're not broken. You're not deficient. There's just something in your head that has identified the thought, not actually other people, the thought of being with other people as something that is scary and going to hurt us. So let's sound the alarms.
Mm-hmm.
And the goal is, over time, to just teach your body, hey, I hear that. I hear the alarm, but it's all good. It's all good.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to teach our body over time. Okay? So, number one, avoidance makes it worse. Number two, curiosity, not war. Here's what I mean by that. When your alarms set off, if you immediately try to shut them down, to power through, to push through, to flex really tight, your brain will think, oh, he doesn't hear me. Let's make him louder. Versus the anxiety alarms go off. Your heart starts beating faster. You wake up and you can hardly drink your coffee. And then you get curious. Why is my body trying to keep me alive? There's nobody coming at me with a hatchet. What's the deal here? Oh, I got these 2 meetings today. I love Dan and Jim. And there's going to be one uncomfortable conversation. I'm going to have Bill do that. I don't want to talk to that guy. Or I'm going to fire this guy and this is going to be really uncomfortable for me. So I'm going to write this one down because this one's going to hard. This one's going to not be fun. You see what I'm doing there? I'm being curious with my body, not getting mad at it. I'm not, because when you get mad at it, then you start pre-worrying about the worry that you're going to have about the anxiety that comes later. See what I'm saying?
Yep.
Here's the main way to say that. Stay out of your head. Do you keep something with you can write down?
I don't. No, I haven't.
Okay. I'm holding this up. If you see this on the YouTube channel,
Okay.
you can laugh at me all you want, and I wish I had a cooler name for this. I put cool stickers like Yeti and like Be Wilder and like a Go Ruck stickers and stuff on it because I'm trying to make myself feel tougher. You know what this is? Like, if I really am just honest with it, this is a stories journal, a thoughts journal.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime my body starts to take off on me, I just write it down real quick. That's it. And I got it for $9 at Walmart. I might make one day that's like $40 and make it all nice and leathery. But really, I just keep it with me at all times in my backpack. And I keep it out here when I'm doing shows right here. I might think of something like, you really sucked at that answer. I'll write that down real quick. And here's what I'm doing. I'm getting it out of my body. I'm staying out of my head.
Yeah.
Okay? Here's the third word I want to give you. Practice. Here's what I mean by that. You got to stop worrying. And worry is an addiction. And here's what I mean. Have you ever sat in the shower and had an imaginary conversation with somebody that you will never have in real life?
Yeah, I have.
Are you ever driving and you start rehearsing conversations you're going to have with employees and people and other contractors and your kids and whatever?
Yeah, or calls with you.
Yeah. How many times did you rehearse this call?
Probably 20 times in the last 10 minutes before I was on the phone with you. So.
Okay. Just listening to you talk right now, your voice is different because you're smiling. Your shoulders are dropped. Yeah. I can hear your shoulders down, as crazy as that sounds. What you thought was going to happen didn't happen.
Right.
Is what you think is going to happen, does it ever happen?
Maybe a few times.
And did you live?
Yeah, I survived it.
Ta-da! Way to go, dude. You're already, you see?
Right.
Okay, so here's what we're going to do.
So
Go ahead.
I read your book.
Okay.
I read your book about the backpack.
Okay.
And one of the backpacks that it feels like I'm carrying is that I won't have the right words to say to people. I'm kind of a quiet guy.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times when I'm going into a situation, that's a lot of times what is preventing me from succeeding, it feels like, is that backpack.
Okay.
And
here's
how do I put that backpack down?
100% promise. You're not always going to have the right words to say.
Yeah.
And what I found going into homes and telling mothers that their babies had died or that their sons had taken their own lives, that the fewer words are often the better. And so I actually, if you go back on YouTube and look at the trailer for this show, one of the calls that I made sure we put in there was me saying, I don't know the answer to this one. I've never heard this before. And I'm laughing. Because my identity is not tied in always having the right things to say. My identity is tied in sitting with people when they're struggling. You see the difference?
Right.
And so what I want you to practice is not worrying about having the right things to say, because you're not ever going to have the right things to say. So here's a fun exercise I want you to do this afternoon. I want you to get a cinder block, okay? And I want you to put a piece of masking tape on it, and I want you to get a magic marker and write on that cinder block, always having the right thing to say, and I want you to carry it around your house for 10 or 15 or 20 minutes. I'm serious. It's gonna suck. Your arm's gonna be burning. You're gonna have to pass it from one hand to the next. Okay? Set a timer for 15 or 20 minutes. And then at some point, you're gonna have to decide, I don't care to have the right things to say anymore. And then I want you to take it out in the backyard, and I want you to drop it and never pick it up again. And here's what practice means. The moment that worry lightning bolts into your head, I'm not going to know what to say. That's when you interrupt the thought. That's when you stop the worry and you say, I don't have to worry, but I don't have to have everything to say. I don't have to have anything to say right now because I'm freaking Brad from St. Louis. Ta-da. Yeah. You know what I mean?
Yep, I do.
And then you're going to go into a situation and you're going to know a lot more to say than you think you do. And on those moments when you don't know what to say, you can say the words, I don't know what to say right now. I'm going to have to get back with you on that. I need a day to think about this. And that's what you're going to practice. And you're going to practice and you're going to practice until your body doesn't sound the alarms. Your body begins to know, oh, Brad's got this. He's driving. He sees that big bear at the front of the cave. He sees that tiger in the field. We don't have to sound the alarm. He sees it. We're good. Now we just have to run or we have to fight it. See what I'm saying?
Yeah, I do. Yep.
Okay. Avoidance makes it worse. The one thing about anxiety is you got to lean into it. Okay?
Yeah, that's the scary part.
It is. It is. You won't die. You won't. Okay? Anxiety won't kill you. Running from it might. Okay?
Yeah, right.
You got to be curious and not go to war with your body. Ask yourself, why am I so worried about this? And number 3, don't worry. Stop worrying and practice not worrying. Practice interrupting that thought pattern. Okay? I want you to stay on the line. I'm going to send you, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to send you 3 copies of Redefining Anxiety. It's a book I wrote before Own Your Past, Change Your Future. And I want you to read one. I want your wife to read one. And if you got kids age 15 or older, I want them to read it. And it's going to give your family a common language that y'all can talk about at home. Here's another thing that's unpopular, and I don't care. It might be, Brad, that you go sit down with a psychiatrist, and for a season, anxiety meds helped me. And again, if you listen to the show a lot, I'm not a guy who goes to meds first. I'm just not. But meds were helpful in turning the alarm volume down for me so that I could practice some of these things. And if you've been struggling with this since you were a little kid, that might help. And let your doctor know. I let my doctor know when I walked in the door, I'm not going to put a pill in my mouth until I have a plan for us to get off this. And my doctor was like, awesome. And we worked together, and it was fantastic. The pill didn't solve the problem. It just helped me be able to create an environment where I could go get the help that I needed. And it was awesome. I got to talk to a counselor. I got some great friends. I started exercising. I started practicing these things I'm talking about here. I started leaning into the discomfort. And the healing on the back end is something you can't even imagine, Brad. You just got to trust me it's worth it. Got to trust me that it's worth it. And I'll tell you from the countless people who've written to me from all over the country, leaning into anxiety and changing your thoughts, really working on it, can happen. And there's peace on the other end of this deal. So proud of you, Brad, for making the call. So proud of you, man. Rehearsing tragedy is a waste of your time. Laughter and joy and connection are not. So let's practice and we'll get there.